Welcome, St. Lucians and all those watching. Sorry about that. Sometimes just when you're being told you're on, that is when something just decide that it would like to make itself known by popping up on the technology. Okay, let me just. Okay, here we go. So, good night, St. Lucia. I'm your host, Sergeant Zachary Hippolyte. Welcome to another episode of Police Insight. I'd like to say good night to our Police Commissioner, Mr. Milton Daisy, our deputies, assistant commissioners of police, good night to you, gazette officers, inspectors, sergeants, corporals, constables, both senior and junior, special police constables, special reserve officers, good night to you, former police officers, good night to you, city police, I'd like to say good night to you, our brothers and sisters in law enforcement, Bodley Correctional Facility, fire service. How you guys doing? I know ambulance, all you guys are under so much pressure. Good night to you. Customs, our customs and excise department, and also our port police. And good night to you. Those of you watching, we're live on Choice Television, also streaming live on the Choice on Facebook, on the Choice Media Network. Special good night to all the police officers attached to the Special Patrol Group. Good night to you guys. Angela Hippolyte, Tekla Preville, Sabina Charles. I know you're not feeling too well. Good night to you. I hope you get much better soon. Glenn Prudent, good night to you. Officer Idella Volney, I know you're not well either. I wish you speedy recovery. Also, good night to your husband. How you doing, Mr. Volney, Antonius Volney? Josiah of Lafayette, how you doing? Good night to you. So, folks, tonight we're going to have a traffic show, and I know it has been requested many a times, many episodes before. Every time I have it could be no matter what the topic is, someone will call and say, hey, officer, traffic, I have this question concerning traffic. So we're going to have a very entertaining and informative discussion tonight, various traffic issues. But before I introduce my guest, I needed to just touch on just some, just on a little, every time there's something that I think that is worthy of bringing up before we get into the main topic for the night. So, what's newsworthy? What's newsworthy? Well, we have a police officer pleading guilty to a 2008 manslaughter. Yeah? And according to the Loop News, the police officer attached to the Royal Central Police Force pleaded guilty this week to reckless manslaughter in the shooting death of a man in Soufrière back in 2008. On December 25, 2008, about 4 a.m., John Alcindor of Soufrière sustained a single gunshot wound to his right neck area just below his ear. He succumbed to this injury on the scene, and the gunshot was discharged from the service weapon of PC-88 Roy Emmanuel. He was attached to the Special Services Unit of the Royal Central Police Force at the time. The incident occurred at Ravinclair, quarter of Soufrière, while Alcindor was attending a Christmas Juve celebration. Then Inspector Emmanuel Joseph of the Royal Central Police Force investigated the shooting, and on 5th February 2009, charged Officer Emmanuel with reckless manslaughter. The charge alleged that on 25th December 2008, about 4 a.m., Emmanuel, being a person upon whom the law imposes a duty to preserve life, acted recklessly in such a manner as to create an obvious and serious risk of causing physical injury to John Alcindor, thereby causing his death. And it goes on to say, according to Section 1B, a person who acts recklessly in such a manner as to create an obvious and serious risk of causing physical injury to some other person who thereby causes the death of that person commits the offense of manslaughter. Emmanuel's trial commenced some 13 years later, and the prosecution was conducted by the learned Director of Public Prosecution, Dasrin Green. So Emmanuel pleaded guilty to the charge during the course of the presentation of his defense. Now, folks, I read that. I read that to bring up a particular point. And there's another press release that I'll read. Because you've heard, especially after there was a recent incident of a police shooting, where once again, right, conveniently, sections of the society would bring up the debate about whether or not police should investigate themselves. Yeah? And though there are so many other examples of police investigating police and successfully either getting convictions, or we have examples of where the organization has held internal disciplinary actions against police officers, some having been dismissed, some having been suspended, etc. We still have people conveniently always bringing up the topic or the debate as to give some doubt in the mind of the populace that the police can never investigate their own. Yeah, they're a close unit, they're a brotherhood. And that the organization, the Royal National Police Force, would turn a blind eye to those who may have transgressed the law or those police officers perceived to be doing wrongdoing. But yet, there is an article investigated by the police. By the police. Having said that, I'm not saying that the organization would not entertain if the powers that be so deem it fit, whether bringing up legislation, putting everything in place for independent investigators when it comes to police shootings, etc. We don't have an issue with that. But I needed to bring this up so that individuals who continuously like to put out that rhetoric as if like the police has a problem or we took some code where if one of our own may have done something wrong or alleged to have done something wrong, that everything gets swept under the rug. I wanted to bring that out. And also another press release where 4 men were found guilty of a 2014 Leslie Land murder. Okay, and let me just go quickly through it. A 12-member jury panel found 4 defendants guilty of the 2014 murder of 35-year-old Yolanda Frederick, known to many as Jordan, on Friday, April 8, 2022. The defendants Samuel Kodra, Daniel Kodra, Timothy Desmond, and Dylan Edmond, all of Leslie Lancastries, were successfully prosecuted by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions on a single count indictment of non-capital murder, contrary to Section 85A and 87 of the Criminal Code, Chapter 301 of the Revised Laws of St. Lucia 2008. The 4 defendants were charged and indicted for causing the death of Yolanda Frederick on Tuesday, July 1st, 2014, at about 8:10 p.m. at Leslie Lancastries near the Marian home. A post-mortem examination conducted on the body of Frederick on Wednesday, July 2, 2014, indicated hemorrhagic shock secondary to multiple gunshot wounds. The sentencing of the defendants Samuel Kodra, Daniel Kodra, Timothy Desmond, and Dylan Edmond is scheduled for July 29, 2022 at the High Court. What I have to say about that? It shows to the professionalism of the police. And why? Because once again, those who would want to bring out rhetoric or give some form of misleading information that the police only do proper investigation when it comes to particular individuals in society, probably when it comes to police officers or when it comes to someone who has a certain level, perceived to have a certain level in society, belonging to a high-class family. That's when the police takes their time to investigate and make sure that the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. For those who know and don't know, Yolanda Frederick was well known to the police. Yolanda Frederick has served time at the Bodley Correctional Facility, remanded, charged for serious charges. One would say that when Yolanda Frederick lost his life, some would say maybe the police probably happy that one is gone, and probably that investigation would be done quickly and probably not even given much attention because Yolanda Frederick has given problems in the past. But no, the press release says the DPP's office successfully prosecuted. How do you think the DPP successfully prosecuted? It is through the work, the professional work, okay, of the police investigators who did not, who had no biasness when it came to their work, who didn't say, oh, they kill one that always giving problems, so we don't care. No, they did their work with professionalism and integrity. And now, guess what? 4 individuals have been found guilty. I needed to say that tonight. It was weighing on my mind. Okay? For those who continuously throwing out this rhetoric out there that when it comes to police investigating their own, that there is some form of cover-up, or when it comes to the investigations that the police prioritize who or when they should be professional in their investigations. I just wanted to bring that up. But it's now time for our very first break. And when we come back, I'll introduce my guest. Stay tuned to Police Insight.
Nothing protects and cleans like Supreme. Supreme Bleach. Available at leading supermarkets island-wide. Agents in St. Lucia, Rennick and Company. Shopping the world for you.
You all right? Yeah, I'm good to go.
Are you the hunter or the prey?
Get over here! Hadouken! Even dragons look up to the sun.
Here we go again.
Bank of St. Lucia Visa credit card for everyday people, everyday moments.
Welcome back to Police Insight. Your host there, Sergeant Zachary Hippolyte. We're live on Choice Television and streaming live on the Choice Media Network Facebook page. So quickly, let me say good night to those of you tuned into the chat room. Kevin Knight, Barbara Labadie Burke, good night to you. Victor C. Anthony, what's up, my brother? Erwin Miao Butcher, Stephanie Cauldron, Leno Irivilio, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Joan Edward, Mad Max Gabriel, Narcis Moise, Tia Joseph, Diane Silly, Mad Max Gabriel, I think I said that already, and who else we have here? Omar Ismail, how you doing, my brother? Alpha Hippolyte, good night to you all. Val Shal, Dr. Venus Rastaman, Cherry, good night to you. And I see about 2 or 3 persons saying that Yolanda was a female. Well, I'm not even going to get into that conversation, okay, because we all know there are individuals who identify themselves as another sex, but that's not for me to get into. So Yolanda was a female biologically. However, the information I received is that she identified herself as male, so that's why I said him. Never wanted to cause any form of, you understand, insensitivity to anyone. But that is the information I received. So, without further ado, let me introduce my guest. Tonight, I'm studio with me for us to discuss a lot of traffic issues, traffic law enforcement topics. Is none other than Constable Ron Chicot. Mr. Chicot, how are you doing, my brother?
Yes, I'm doing quite well. Zach, thanks again for having me, and a special good night to all those who are listening, members of the police force, commissioner of police, as you said, the deputy, the ACPs, and all those who are tuned in, whether you listening via the internet or live TV. Mm-hmm. It's always a pleasure gracing you with my presence.
And you've been a guest before on Police Insight, even when we were on the other side.
Oh, yes. Many times.
But for those who may not know who Ron Chicot is, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, Mr. Chicot?
Yes, well, I'm Constable of Police number 50, attached to the traffic department. I've been there from 2006. So do the maths. 2006.
2006. Okay.
Until now.
Yeah.
And I love what I do. I take pride in my work, and I think anybody and everybody who knows me knows that I'm someone who is very serious where my work is concerned.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Excellent, excellent. Yes. I'd like to say good night to Sergeant Aniel Innocent. You logged in. Good night to you, and Calvin Scotty Leo.
Yes,
so
that's my best friend. You know.
That's your best friend there.
Sergeant Aniel. Good night to you.
Yes, yes.
Aniel.
Excellent.
Yes.
All right. Let's get into it. Thank you for being here in representing the traffic department.
Yes, always a pleasure.
Mr. Chicot, citizens are complaining. I mean, I get a lot of traffic calls, so I'm so happy you're here. Citizens are complaining that traffic reports are taking so long. They call the show. They're saying in this age of modern technology, and why is this so? What are some of the factors in your experience that could cause those important reports in taking so long to be issued to an applicant?
Yes, Zach. Well, to answer that question, I would like to refer to our statistics in order for us to lay the foundation as to some of the reasons. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to give a few statistics briefly. That will be the yearly statistics of accidents.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Right. So in the year of 2009, for example, at the end of the year, which is December, we had a total of 635 accidents.
2000 what again?
2019.
2019. 635.
5.
Mm-hmm.
For a total of 171 injured parties. 2020, I took the last 3 years. At the end of the calendar year, we had a total of 984 accidents, with a total of 166 injured persons. That would include both serious and minor injuries. In 2021, we had a total of 1,049 accidents And those are reported accidents.
1,049
accidents.
And that's in the height of the COVID pandemic. Am I
Yes.
correct?
And just to, yes, and we had a total of 210 injured persons. Okay? Now, just to be,
That's a lot.
yeah, just to be accurate, this is only dealing with traffic within the city of within the Castries confinement where we at the traffic department deal with. One must note that traffic deals with accident reports, Castries, Babono, Grosile, Marigot Ancillary Conneries, Richford Dennery. So all of the accidents which occurs within those areas, the reports are prepared by our department.
I see.
And we only have 2 persons responsible for that.
2 individuals. Wow.
2 individuals. Now I'm going to go through this fatal statistics just to put it on record for the same years. So for the year of 2019, we had a total of 16 fatalities. Okay, 16 persons lost their lives as a result of accidents. And that will be from 14 fatal accidents. Okay? In the year of 2020, we had a total of 22 fatalities. And that derives from 21 fatal accidents. Okay? And in 2021, we had a total of 17 fatalities, which derived from 17 fatal accidents. Okay? One thing to note, motorcyclists seem to be featuring
Yes.
very often
Very often.
in those fatal accidents. So back to your question. So we've laid the foundation.
You've laid the foundation.
Right.
Very good, my brother.
Right.
I know where you're going.
Right.
Yes.
So to answer your question, we have seen a remarkable increase in the amount of traffic accidents over the years. Now, mind you, I gave you 2019, 2020, 2021. Prior years, we averaged about 600, 500 accidents per year, 700. I remember clearly in the year, I think 2018, that's when we saw it went up from 600, where it had been for a while, to 700, and it kept climbing and climbing. So that is one thing to note. So the traffic response, so like I said, so the issue with the reports, if you have so many accidents dealing with, and you have, 2 persons who are responsible for preparing those reports,
2 persons.
so I think we can
deduce
from that
as to why.
why persons, and I must say we are doing a good job, but I mean there's always room for improvement.
Yes.
But we're doing the best that we can
With what we
presently
have.
with what we have. Another factor which would affect that too is getting the police officer to produce his investigative file. Now, after an accident, an officer's responsibility is to prepare his file and then submit it to the traffic department for the report to be prepared. I mean, I'm not going to be naive. We know there are some people who drag the feet, but it's in the minority.
Yes.
Especially at my department, it's in the minority. But majority, or most of our officers, always do their best to prepare the files on time. I was like, let me tell you something. When I joined traffic in 2006, I'm laying the foundation. I remember clearly that we had over, for example, let's just say, okay, so compare now to 2006. You will agree with me, and everyone will agree with me that the amount of traffic we have now, drivers we have now, vehicles we have now,
Okay, then.
it's maybe triple what existed back then.
Most definitely.
Right. So when I came in the department, for example, motorcyclists, police motorcycle outriders, we had about 10 plus. You remember the wardens?
I remember the
Yeah,
wardens.
with the yellow stripes.
Yeah, the
Wardens used to
yes.
be on the pedestrian
Traffic wardens.
crossings at every school.
Yes.
And we had the corps of investigators, which was plentiful. So let's fast forward
To 2000.
16 years later.
Yeah,
Okay.
when things should be getting better.
Right. I mean, I'm speaking the truth. We have
We have
now
to speak through the truth.
maybe
Yes.
about, I'll say, 4 cyclists. And we have, I'll say, a quarter of what existed back then. And the workload has increased tremendously.
Tremendously.
Zach,
More drivers.
It
more.
is a lot of work. Okay? It is a lot of work. Sometimes, and some of the officers sometimes get burnt out because it's a lot of work. You know, dealing with the amount of accidents you have, sometimes a day, you have 4 or 5 accidents on the ground at the same time. Traffic is blocked on the highway. Traffic is blocked in the city. Traffic is blocked Bexon. And you have 2 officers on patrol, 1 vehicle. How do you're going to divide officers? If that was the case, then it would have been easier, but you know.
Yeah,
So,
and it's an investigation.
Right.
The police cannot just go there and rush things.
right, you
Is
have to
that
take your time. Right.
Yeah.
So, to answer your question, these are some of the issues we face in terms of getting those files on time and preparing them. And even when the officers at the department receives the file, they then have to, because they have to file it whilst they do others which have been piling up before. So, and like I say, it's a lot of work, but we're doing the best that we can. I want to appeal to the public, just bear with us, have a little patience. And we are doing what we can to expedite the situation at the moment.
And they should be driving with more due care and attention.
Well, yes, because a lot of those accidents, some of it is, most of the accidents, an accident is avoidable unless you suffer some, or you experience some sort of mechanical failure or something, your brakes give way, your tire blow off or something. But a lot of the accidents we investigate, even the fatalities, it's avoidable. And one of the main causes is driver error.
Driver error.
Driver error. And the attitudes of drivers behind those steering wheels.
Let me get another question in before we take another break again. Mr. Chicot, recent callers to the show have observed, and I've been getting this call a lot, that vehicles leaving Northwest, which is the same
That
the traffic department is in, that they would make a right turn from that area. And there is a sign saying no right turn. Now, to the citizenry, it looks bad. They say, in their mind, they're thinking that the traffic officers are right there, so they must be or should be in a position to see vehicles leaving that compound and making that dangerous right turn. What say you to that, Mr. Chicot?
Yes, well, what I can say is before we occupied that area, we had talks with the Ministry of Transport as it relates to the sign. And I'm going to be frank with you, the sign is badly placed. You have a no right turn sign placed across the road, across 4 lanes of traffic, on a fence. If a driver is exiting the yard, he has to look left and right.
True.
How many drivers will look ahead of them? There's no road ahead of you.
Because some people actually didn't even know there was a sign.
Yes, so what we had advised or recommended is to place 2 signs at the exit. One on the left side, if you're coming from our office side, you place a no right turn sign there, and one closer to the exit and entrance of Northwest. Okay, so anybody exiting Northwest will see the sign. Because the sign should be placed somewhere conspicuous, close to the driver so you can see it easily.
Yes.
When you have a sign placed across the highway, across 4 lanes of traffic, on a fence.
No one is looking up there.
Exactly, because when you're coming out of there, you're looking left and right. So we had made that recommendation to the ministry in terms of relocating the signs and place the signs on both sides. What we do, if and when we see persons
Most
turning,
definitely.
we stop them, we tell them, there's a sign there, but you should avoid turning across the 4 lanes because it's dangerous. But I want to expand a bit on that because persons have said, I'm sure you have observed persons turning right from the road into Northwest.
Yes.
Persons are of the view that the double white line prevents you from turning right. But actually, according to the highway code, I think it's section or paragraph 129. It says double lines where the line nearest to you is solid. This means you must not cross or straddle it unless it is safe and you need to enter an adjoining premises or side road. Okay?
Okay.
So the double white lines, you're not supposed to overtake. Now, our laws, which is the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Regulation, says that the double continuous white line means no overtaking.
No overtaking.
Okay, and the overtake, we all know what overtake is.
Yes.
It doesn't say no turning right.
That's right.
And the highway code says that you can turn right, obviously when it's safe to do so, into an adjoining premises or side road. Now, a lot of persons have the view that it's illegal to turn right, but it's actually not. Okay, the line there denotes that, or it tells you that you're not supposed to overtake.
That's supposed to overtake,
Right.
but you can turn right.
You can turn right as long as it's safe.
As long as it is
Now,
safe.
when I'm coming to work, sometimes if it's clear, I'll turn right. If it's too many vehicles, I'll go up to the roundabout and then come back up and
But just turning right is not
it's
in
not an
itself
offense.
an offense.
Not an offense. Okay, so like I said, Zach, to answer the second question, the no right turn sign, we have made recommendations. I believe the signs are placed wrong. They are the bad place. The signs are placed across the road.
Across the road, on the fence.
And
yeah.
easier just to erect two no right turn signs, one on the left side exiting traffic, one on the right side exiting northwest. So any vehicle that is exiting, the sign is next. So
Right
when you
there.
turn right, you will
You'll
see it.
see
When
it.
you turn left, you will see it. Okay?
Excellent.
So that's the answer to that question. But we do caution drivers not to practice it because it's very dangerous. Sometimes you may see us doing it, but I mean, Zach, if we're at work and there's an accident on the highway, you know, I mean, we need to respond quickly.
That's right.
We're not going to go up and turn and come back. Sometimes just put on your siren, make sure, stop the traffic and then turn.
Excellent.
Yes, okay.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chico. We are now going to take another break. Stay tuned to Police Insight.
Stop! Did you know that it's illegal to steal water? It's also unfair to paying customers and WASCO, and there's a possibility of contaminating the system. It is also illegal to supply a disconnected customer with a direct connection. The consequences include a fine of $5,000 on summary conviction or 12 months imprisonment. Call us at telephone number 457-3900 or come to our offices at Lance Road, Viewfort and Soufriere to speak to a customer service representative if you've been disconnected. A message brought to you by the Water and Sewage Company Incorporated, WASCO.
The Royal St. Lucia Police and Allied Services Credit Union Limited continues to innovate and remains focused on member satisfaction in this COVID-19 era. For these reasons, we stand proud to give our members an unprecedented opportunity to own a piece of St. Lucia and to create a secured future through our investment services. Now available at the Police Credit Union, 100% financing on residential land loans. Additionally, we offer a unique investment opportunity in our fixed deposit investment plan. Earn as much as 5% annually on your investment. And if you are looking for a golden opportunity for a supplemental savings plan for retirement or any other reason, you can now enroll in our Golden Harvest investment plan. The Royal St. Lucia Police and Allied Services Credit Union has remained committed to serving you in this COVID period and will continue to serve you in good times and in bad times.
It's in our name. Fried chicken, it's our thing. Others may try, but we have the original. We put the extra and extra crispy. And our secret in everyone's mouth. So if we want to make the best chicken sandwich, we just need to put our name on it. New Kentucky Chicken Sandwich. An abundant triple breaded filet, premium mayo and pickles, all in a buttered brioche bun. The best chicken sandwich had to be KFC.
Your host here, Sergeant Zachary Hippolyte of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. In studio with me, Officer Ron Chicot, seasoned and veteran experience traffic investigator from the traffic department. I see lots of discussions in the chat. Keep it coming, and as later on, I'll try my best to get to some of the questions that you've posted in the chat. So, Mr. Chicot, I think there's something you want to elaborate on.
Yes, just two things quickly, and let me just say a special good night to Mr. Curtis Roberts, which is my officer in charge of the traffic department.
Excellent.
Just a side note, in reference to the police report we spoke to earlier,
Yes.
one of the things I forgot to mention is that when those reports are prepared, after they have been prepared, they must still be reviewed and vetted by the officer in charge of traffic.
I see.
Yeah, so you see, which prolongs the process a little longer.
So we have so many accidents,
Yep.
not enough investigators,
Investigators.
and still this document still has to be vetted.
Yes, because
by all means.
By all means, because you sign in a police report with your signature and stamp, so it has to ensure that everything is in check and
It's in
nothing
check,
is fishy.
yeah. Yeah.
And another side note we spoke about, I forgot to mention, reference to the signage, that we've heard many times where people have made the suggestion that we, the traffic police, should erect signs and
Yes.
should put signs.
Yes,
I had that,
all that.
right. So, but people need to be aware that it is the sole responsibility of the Ministry of Transport to erect signs and to paint the road markings and not the police. The law only gives the police the exception in erecting temporary signs. For example, if you see during a funeral or there's a parade or there's something where you need to reserve parking signs, the law gives the commissioner of police or any police officer acting on his behalf the power to erect those signs to facilitate parking or maybe to temporarily close the road, let's say Wasco. You know, these days as frequent, the pipes always get busted. You have to block off the road for Wasco. In those instances, the law gives the police the power to, erect those signs. But the sole responsibility to erect and place, to change, lies on the Ministry of Transport and not the RSLPF.
Excellent. Brother Chico, another one I get most times when people call the show, that there's this perception, we don't see the traffic police at night. Police officers, the traffic police don't work at night. You know, we don't think they work at night, only during the day. What say you to that?
Well, if they did not work at night, then the accidents which occur at night will not be investigated, Zach. Okay?
Yeah.
But the short answer to this, yes, we do work at nights. I will admit that the numbers are not as great as during the day. But, and I will agree that nighttime enforcement is lacking to some extent. But again, we have to deal with numbers. We need at least double the amount we have now to deal with the night as, compared to the day. Especially these days, like, where, we all know that nighttime, it's getting more and more itchy.
up to yesterday. Look what occurred, I think it was in, is it Monday Dawn? Where the special patrol teams who also assist in traffic
right.
law enforcement.
Yes, I read that story.
Were fired upon by some individual, right. and it was a simple traffic stop. How do you feel, Ron Chicot, when it comes to traffic investigations? Before, one would think that the traffic officer would have been one of the safest. All police was have the thing, but you know what I'm talking about, because you're the ones who just deal with traffic accidents.
Yes.
How do you feel? How does the department feel right now with what's going on in terms of the traffic investigations?
Yeah, well,
security.
Right. The officers are concerned, of course. We all should be concerned, when people are so brave these days to do what they do. But it's not a case where we're afraid or whatnot. We just, at the end of the day, you need to protect your life. And, first, but we need to do what we need to do as police officers. We need we need to keep the fight. We need to not put our hands up and surrender. Okay,
That's
but
right.
we have the work to do. And at nighttime patrols, imagine that the traffic department covers from the Bad Lil to Shock. Bad Lil. Okay, let's take it.
Yes.
From Bad Lil to Bexon, Calisat. Then you have Mac, you have Sarot, you have Otsa, you have Deglo, Twapito, Castries, Lacroix. You have Castries, Millennium Highway, the Mon, Ciceron, up to Forestier, the entire city basin, VG, Shock Highway, up to the Dimple at Louise Primary School. Then you have the Balata, Egan Mondido bypass road. So that's a wide area to cover. So imagine trying to cover that at night. With,
I see, with the numbers.
The numbers that we have, it's almost impossible to do.
And my next question was about, because we get a lot of callers reference to the different colored lights. Some drivers have, in terms of the headlights, a lot of people believe that these are not the lights that those vehicles were imported in St. Lucia. Also, spotlights and swivel lights in the grills.
Right.
Does the act speak about that? And do you think the traffic department is in a position to deal with this?
Well, as of 2019, there was an amendment to the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Regulations, no, the driving code, as we speak, where it says that a person shall not install, cause to be installed, or use on a motor vehicle or trailer colored headlights or license plate lights, because the regulation states that the headlights and the license plate lights should be uncolored. So it becomes a ticketable offense now, so we can ticket persons who have colored headlights. So it's against the law to have colored headlights and license plate lights. The regulations, I think it's paragraph 21, also speaks of unauthorized figures and lights. It says that a person shall not install on a motor vehicle or a trailer any light except the headlights without the written approval of the Ministry of Transport. So the only light you're supposed to have at the front of the vehicle is the headlights. The only light you're supposed to have to your rear are your park lights and your reverse lights. Any additional lights that you intend to install, you must have the written approval from the Ministry of Transport. And not too long ago, I was having a conversation with someone at the ministry, and they had the perception that it was actually, well, we had the authority. I was telling the person no, and I actually sent a copy of the section for the individual. Okay, so the Ministry of Transport is one responsible for giving the approval.
I see.
So it is against the law, and it is something that we can enforce in terms of the colored headlights. But I will say this, Zach. You see, no law is written perfect.
Yeah.
The Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Regulations is that of 1995, and that has not been updated.
I see.
And there is need to update it. There is a lot that has changed. For example, remember fog lights and these things. At one point in time, vehicles did not come with fog lights, but now because they have fog lights, and I think the regulation speaks against fog lights. At the time, vehicles were not being manufactured with fog lights, but now is a modern time. You have fog lights. So the law, there needs to be some form of revision in terms of the regulations.
Okay, Tevin, we're going to I have a video, ladies and gentlemen, and this video is related to our very first Nathan Teammates Know Your Laws in terms of littering. But before we get to that, let us look at that video.
Chicks Gaza, chicks in them Gaza, chicks. The man just dropping the list sending fellas eyes Gaza. Check the man in them Gaza, them fellas Gaza. Them fellas even cover in the thing Gaza. All man had to put a glass up in the man Gaza. Yeah. And the police said do nothing about that Gaza. In the man again Gaza. Check that. In the man Gaza.
You know, the driver was very irate, ladies and gentlemen. As you could see, the technical crew had to do a lot of bleeping. But I think it was important that this video was broadcast. And it leads us to our first Nathan Teammates Know Your Laws for the night, which speaks to littering. Let's put that on the screen. Okay, and it says littering, Section 81 of the Motor Vehicles and Road Traffic Act. The registered owner and the driver of a vehicle commit an offense if A, any person in the motor vehicle litters the road or surrounding land, or B, a load being carried is not properly secured or covered on the motor vehicle and results or may result in littering of the road or surrounding land. Subsection 2. A person who commits an offense under this section is liable, A, on summary conviction to a fine not exceeding $500, or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 1 month or both, or B, on conviction or indictment, 1, if the offense was committed by an individual otherwise than in the course of business, to a fine not exceeding $1,000, or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 months or both, and 2, in any other case, to a fine not exceeding $5,000 or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 1 year or both. Subsection 3. Upon conviction, the court may order that the defendant pay to the institution responsible for the collection and disposal of solid waste in respect of the road compensation in an amount that the court considers sufficient for the cost of cleanup of the movables. So that was our very first Nathan teammates. We have another one. Nathan teammates, but we'll get onto that. Nathan's teammate, know your laws for tonight. Mr. Chico, any reaction to the video you saw in the section that I just read?
Well, yes, Zach. So according to the section, if you pay attention to what he said, the registered owner and the driver of a vehicle is committing an offense, if anyone in that vehicle litters the road.
Anyone in that vehicle?
Right. So if an omnibus driver is driving from Castries to wherever and somebody throws out the box of KFC, like they usually do, the driver is liable for ticketing.
Some would say, is that really fair to the driver when he has to concentrate on the road? He might not be able to know what people are doing in the back.
I agree, but that's what the law says.
That's what the law
now,
says.
but Zach, funny enough,
Yeah.
I was going through some SIs that was, now you see this, sometimes these things are done and we are not aware of it. And I actually saw in one of them, I won't be able to get it now because I have so many of them there, where the law was amended to request that drivers include, minibus drivers that is, include a first aid kit, a receptacle, and a fire extinguisher, in the minibus at all times. And that's something I just, while it's going through the notes, I was like, wow.
I'm not even aware of that.
Yeah, because you see, there's a lot of little amendments that's been done here and there, and sometimes they get, lost amongst the others. But based on that itself, that is a big problem, Zach. I mean, these trucks who carry stones and sand and vehicle people, I remember it was about a week ago, I saw the fire service in the roundabout, so I went up to them. They told me apparently someone was carrying diesel.
My goodness.
And when they stopped at the roundabout, it made a big puddle. Now imagine a man like me who rides and like to lean my bike. Oh man, you ride bike? No, I don't think you ride bike.
No, I don't.
Right.
I don't.
So imagine a motorcyclist.
Scared of this.
No need to be scared of bikes. Imagine a motorcyclist who's riding and you just happen to reach upon a puddle of oil, or it can be oil or diesel or gasoline. That's disastrous. And persons who carry stones, sand, and these things fall on the road. Sometimes they hit your vehicle, you get damaged. Sometimes, you pass on a stone, you damage your tire or something. And sadly, sometimes you just happen to see the obstacle on the road, but you have no idea as to, which truck, dropped it or off or stuff. But it's something that we do charge the drivers when we get them driving the road. And even if that the littering has not occurred, so if a man is driving a truck and the truck is loaded with sand or stones, even if no stone has or no sand has fallen onto the road, due to the fact that the truck is uncovered, you can still charge him. Okay, because the fact that it's uncovered means that there's a possibility that you may litter the road. So when we do, I'm sorry, the callers, the driver was saying that we don't do anything, but we actually do. We actually do charge those drivers when we get them.
Okay, let me just get some reactions here, because I know when the lines are open, I might not be able to get to my viewers on Facebook. Someone here is saying, you have some of your own, I guess they're talking about police, driving with suspended licenses, and get involved in accidents.
Well, what I will say on that simply is, I mean, we don't encourage, I mean, we are law enforcement, and we should always be setting the example. So we're not going to encourage persons to, I mean, if you get involved in an accident and your license is suspended, she said suspended, the person probably meant expired.
Yeah.
Right. So we always encourage persons to, pay the license and pay the insurance, because you never know, Zach, when you can get involved in an accident. You never know. Never know.
Someone there is saying, I know Ron Chicot, he's my friend and colleague, one of the hardest ethical police officers, possess a wealth of knowledge not only on traffic matters but policing. I am proud of you, Ron. Someone here is saying, can the police do anything about those people who take the opportunity to chase an emergency vehicle? And we've seen it sometimes.
All the time.
Yeah, where is the police? Well, I think mostly they take their chances with the ambulance.
Yes.
And the fire engine,
Yes.
but not necessarily the police.
But that is
To
something that
react
we
to
need to discourage, because I mean, the driver or the ambulance who is concentrating on responding to a report, you know, he's not able at all times to stop and to ask you to desist or to stop following him. But it's something that we see, and I have charged many persons for that, or caution them also. And it's something that I need to appeal to the public that they should not practice that, because at the end of the day, you're following the ambulance, you are not able to see ahead of you, and you are not trained, and you must be trained and skilled, you know, in response driving to be able to maneuver the road safely. And you, a lay driver, will just follow an ambulance. You'll find yourself in some serious problems. If you get involved in an accident, just think, if you get involved in an accident, what might be the repercussions?
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, I have an accident investigating, Zach, where someone was actually following an ambulance, and they ran into the back of the ambulance, you know.
Are you serious?
Yes, the ambulance was actually responding, transporting a patient to the hospital. And this guy is following the guy, and then the ambulance driver had to stop because there was obstruction ahead, and then he just ran into the back of the ambulance. So,
What else?
unnecessary problems.
Unnecessary problems. Officer Chico, a user here says, Officer Chico carries out his duties in a professional manner. He's very understanding, and with my experience with him, he was very soft-spoken. I did not abuse his power at no point, no time. I want to tell him, keep up the good work. Okay, thank you guys. Keep it coming. Let me see if I can get another question. Very soon we'll be opening the lines. When we have those interesting topics, the time
goes very quickly.
Flies. Mr. Chico, must a driver be able to produce his driving documents all the time? And if he's not able to, what can happen to him?
Right. So, at one point, the law allowed the driver to, 48 hours and 5 days. 48 hours to produce his driver's license if he did not have it on him, and 5 days to produce his insurance if he did not have it on him. But that has been amended, and for good reason. The amendment was done of Section 85 of the Principal Act, which is the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act, which says that a driver, whilst driving at all times, should have in his possession his driver's license or permit, certificate of registration, insurance, and when he's asked to produce it by a traffic officer, he has to produce it immediately upon request. We've had instances where I stop you, you don't have a license on you. What's your name? My name is Bob Marley. I have no way of identifying whether you are Bob Marley or not. I know you don't have dreadlocks, but I know Bob Marley has dreadlocks.
Yes.
Okay? But I'm just using, right? So, and sometimes you may take that person's word for it and only to find out that's not the person's name. Okay? But now it makes, and even if you don't have a driver's license and you have your identification, and you see the important thing to note that is the identification is what that is important. Because even if you don't have a license on you, but you have some means of identification, it is easier for me, because we have the access to the transport system, to pull up your name and to ensure that you have a license or not. Because the transport system will have your date of birth, NIS number, which is unique to you. Okay, and then we can verify whether or not you have a license.
Excellent.
Right.
Excellent. We are now going to take another break. Stay tuned to Police Insight.
Luselect customers whose accounts are in arrears are encouraged to call or send a WhatsApp message to our credit control section at 728-9756, 728-9754, 728-9755 to make payment arrangements to settle your arrears. For bill balances, call our automated account inquiry service at 457-4433 and follow the prompts. Use myaccount.luselect.com to obtain detailed account information and make online bill payments directly to Luselect via debit or credit card or through your bank. Select the option to receive monthly bills via email. Customers can also pay bills through Shopee's online or walk-in service.
Lighting is about security, knowing that you're safe and there's always light to guide your path. Lighting is knowing that you're always welcomed and that someone is waiting for you. Lighting is the friend who comforts and keeps you company in times of stress. Even when you're setting the mood or just upgrading the look of your business, lighting is there. Be the designer of your life and make the beauty of lighting part of your world today. For all your lighting needs and advice, come see us at J.H. Larcher's Electrics. Your effective connection.
We heard you missed us, and we are excited to be back with Lifestyles with Candy Nicholas on Choice Media Network. We have great information on how to enhance your health and well-being. So join us every Monday at 7:30 p.m. as we discuss with experts on disease prevention, healing, staying fit, aging gracefully, the right foods and tools for health optimization, and keeping beautiful inside and out. Life-changing information, plus opportunities to win amazing health and wellness related gifts. Join us Mondays at 7:30 p.m. Lifestyles with Candy Nicholas, only on Choice Media Network.
Your vehicle insurance should never break your bank. With Beacon, you can get up to 35% off your fully comprehensive car insurance and still get full protection from unexpected damages with free loss of use, windscreen cover, and special perils. When it comes to your insurance, always be sure you settle for more. Call us at 458-5860 or log on to beacon.co.tt and get a quote today.
Nothing protects and cleans like Supreme. Supreme Bleach. Available at leading supermarkets island-wide. Agents in St. Lucia, Rennick and Company. Shopping the world for you.
Welcome back to Police Insight. Your host there, Sergeant Zachary Hippolyte. In studio with me, Officer Ron Chicot of the Traffic Department. So now we're going to do our second NIFN Teammates Know Your Laws for tonight. And that's section 108, the power of traffic officers to arrest without warrant. Yeah, because some people believe that traffic officers could only give tickets. So it says a traffic officer in uniform or with proper identification may arrest without a warrant any person whom the traffic officer believes from personal knowledge commits any of the following traffic offenses. A. Driving a motor vehicle without a valid license or learner's permit contrary to this act. B. Operating a public omnibus route contrary to this act. C. Driving with passengers exceeding the prescribed limit in breach of the conditions of registration. D. Driving a motor vehicle or trailer that is loaded in excess of the maximum weight in breach of the conditions of registration. E. Any offense relating to dangerous driving or driving without due care and without consideration contrary to this act. F. Speeding contrary to Section 76. G. Non-compliance with traffic control devices and directions contrary to Section 71. H. Making a false or misleading statement contrary to Section 84. I. Refusal to produce license or permit or other means of identification for examination contrary to Section 85. Or J. Driving when disqualified contrary to Section 67. This has been NIFN Teammates Know Your Laws, Section 108. Care to react to that? Some people believe that you guys can't arrest. I don't know why.
Well,
for traffic offenses.
Even the term traffic officer, I don't really like that term because persons tend to believe that we can only deal with traffic. But I want to let the public know that we at the traffic department, we are police officers like anybody else.
That's right.
We go for the same training as the officers at CID, SSU, major crime, CID, SSU, traffic, immigration. I mean, when you get transferred to those specialized departments, yes, there is some sort of training that you will undertake whilst at those departments. But added to that you just read there, we also have the power to arrest persons for any offense committed under any law enacted in St. Lucia. I've had instances where we've gone places and we've seen guys, smoking. Tell you, oh, traffic working, guys, you can't do us nothing.
You see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
But just the term traffic officer, they believe we can only
deal
with traffic. But no, we are police officers attached to the traffic department.
That's right. We're going to open up the lines, Stephen. We're going to open up the lines as we continue the conversation with Mr. Chicot. We have a call on the line?
That was quick.
Okay, let's take that call. Good night.
Good night, sir. What's happening?
Good night, sir. I'm fine. How about you?
I'm there. Mr. Chicot also.
Good night, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, Chief. Fine. But I must say, good program tonight.
Thank you very much.
Now, Mr. Chicot, two questions for you. Is it true that, I don't know if it's you, I don't know, but some city policemen were chasing a vehicle last night over there and they opened fire on you all?
Well, I read the news, like you, but I read the news article when it came out. The news article said that they were on patrol and they attempted to stop a vehicle, and the vehicle swerved into them, and someone in the vehicle discharged rounds in the officer's direction. Praise the Lord that none of them were injured. And the vehicle, I guess, the driver lost control and they fled the scene.
Yeah, they fled the scene.
That's as much as I know. Caller.
Okay, did you all impound that vehicle?
Yes, the vehicle is in the custody of the police.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
I think it's a fire must recover too.
Yeah, fire must also recover on that vehicle.
Oh, okay, I like that. Okay,
Yes,
that's a very good move to solve a case.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Chicot, you don't have a problem with you all. First thing, Mr. Chicot, I mean, Mr. Zakari will be here.
I know exactly where you're going, sir.
Mr. Zakari, you know I have been on your case for a while now.
That's why I bring Mr. Chicot here.
You see the police, you see the bike thing?
And I've answered that question.
You see that bike problem, you see that bike routing? It's a menace in this country.
Yeah.
The fellas have no helmet, they don't have no trouble, they don't have... Nobody know him. But I'm not seeing you all tackling them fellas at all. You all tackling fellas that have a low seat belt and them I have a problem with that.
Okay.
I mean, it's wrong too, you know.
Caller.
But I want you all to tackle them fellas.
Yes, caller, but let me answer you, maybe for the 10th time. The problem, let us be realistic, the problem that we face now in dealing with those motorcycles, Zach, when a man is not licensed and he's not insured, he will not stop. And he will do everything in his power to evade the police. By the time he sees the reflector we wear on the police vehicle,
that's right.
He just make a U-turn. Some of them actually, imagine some of them, if they're coming, I saw a video recently where a guy was coming to Castries on the dual carriageway. I think there was an accident or something, and he actually turned, and went in the opposite direction of traffic.
My goodness.
Because he knows that if he goes there, the police will stop him. Now, let me tell you something. Personally, I have taken the decision in terms of the helmets. When a man is not riding with a helmet, he's a danger to himself. Because if he falls, he hit his head, and we all know what happens after. I have been involved in multiple chases, chasing guys on motorcycles, and it has never ended well for them, because these guys cannot outrun us, for sure.
Yeah.
Now think a man who doesn't have a helmet, and he's already riding recklessly without you chasing him. When he sees you and you attempt to stop him and you decide to follow him, he now will be riding at even a more reckless speed. Look at the city of Castries. People can get hurt. If he falls and he gets involved in an accident, he can get hurt himself. So sometimes, just like in the US, I think sometimes they say when the chase becomes too dangerous, you just let it be. But it is an offense, and we do our best when we can to stop them. And we do charge them. We take the bikes. I've taken many motorcycles. As a matter of fact, if you go in the pound there, you'll see motorcycles there.
I know. I mean, I only give you a hand by the pound there.
But the motorcycles there, they're rotten in there. Some of the now the problem we have, Mr. Affa, is the a lot of those motorcycles are coming through back door, stolen bikes from Matnik, Vency. They come on boats and whatnot, and they're on the road. When you get them, they've never passed through customs. Then what we do is we have that connection with customs. As long as we get a motorcycle which we suspect that has not gone through the right channels, customs come, they take over, and they do what they do. Sometimes they make the person pay the duties and whatnot. But they have to investigate because they can. Customs has the ability to investigate to see whether those bikes were reported stolen in neighboring islands.
Anything else happen?
Mr. Chico, yes. One more thing. Like, for example, when today the police say today they're going to raid the block fellas, you also will say today our job is operation take up back on the road. They go back on the road. And it's time to start doing nothing. Because the many agent fellas,
it's a menace for true.
They're breaking their leg, they're knocking their vehicle, they're escaping the back.
Yeah, they hit pedestrians, they hit children, and the guys don't stop.
Yeah,
it is sickening.
We will definitely do that operation one day after. It's important.
Yeah,
you're right.
Have a good night.
Thanks for your call.
Right.
Yeah, good show.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
Just to side note quickly, I just got a call from, and good night to my colleague, Mr. Affa, Gilroy Affa, of the traffic department. He sent me a video, I think about 30 cows along the Fifth Highway. So anybody who's going down that road, be careful, please. The cows are loose along that road. And that is another problem that I think it's the call line.
You have a call on the line? Let's take that call. Good night, caller.
Yes, good night.
Good night, sir. Talk to me.
Sergeant and Ron Chicot.
Good night,
Thank you very much for a nice program.
Good night, caller.
Yes. My concern is with regard to the number of accidents that only 2 policemen are assigned to deal with. I mean, this is totally unacceptable. And I don't want to put the blame on you because I imagine at your rank, you probably can't do very much. But I will still ask you the question, what have you done to inform those who can make a difference or can do something about it? What have you done in your position?
Well, every meeting we have had with HOD, head of department, we always bring that issue up. So we need more manpower because the workload now is tremendous. It's greater than before. And, we need more manpower. But we all know what comes with more manpower. It comes at an expense.
Yes.
And, the resources, we need more vehicles. I believe, caller, I've been honest with you now, I believe that the traffic department should be one of the departments where a majority of the resources should be directed at.
Some other colleagues will get at you for that, Chico.
No, because let me tell you, Zach, when we are the traffic police officers, we are on the road, we are on the move. Most times, I'll tell you, I mean, we all have our responsibilities, but most times in circumstances of a report robbery or something, we get there the quickest because we are already in motion.
That's true.
Okay? Now, when we are on the road and we are present, there is that sort of deterrent that will happen. So persons will be, less likely to do stuff. So that might make other departments work a little easier.
Makes sense.
Okay? But traffic department is very important.
No, I understand that. But at the end of the day, you all are the ones facing the public now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And you all are going to get the pressure.
Yeah.
But this is not acceptable. I mean, we cannot have 2 policemen writing reports for accidents for over 1,000 cases, and some of them involves death and major injury. I mean, this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
You understand? I mean, I'm ashamed, that, you have to come out there and say that. You understand? And those who can effect change, some of them involves death and major injury. I mean, this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
You understand? I mean, I'm ashamed, that, you have to come out there and say that. You understand? And those who can effect change, are sitting or probably sleeping in their beds. You understand? And probably not even hearing this.
Yeah.
And as a concerned citizen, this is unacceptable. Under no circumstances should that be allowed to happen. There are ways that this thing can be fixed, and it will not cost the state 1 cent.
Thank you, caller.
I will call Sergeant Zachary personally tomorrow. I have his number, and I will tell him what can be done, to alleviate this without costing the country 1 cent. And I'm sure if they follow my recommendations, in a matter of months, that most of these reports can get cleared, and we will not have that backlog again. Okay? Anyway, thanks for your service. Thanks for what you're doing. And I appreciate that with all your issues and lack of manpower, etc. I mean, you look like an honest guy to me. I mean, I don't know you very well. I've seen you on the road.
I know the voice very well.
No, you look like you look like one of those honest cops who will do your best, and I'd like to congratulate you.
Yes, thank you very much,
for the work you're doing with your limited resources.
Thanks very much.
Okay, have a good night.
Good night.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'd like to say good night to Miss Fabila Yad. Fabila Yad, how you doing? Good night to you. She said that doesn't shout out these days. Yes.
So, like you see how important it was to lay that foundation,
Yes.
to show people as to how what we are dealing with in terms of the workload.
Because the police
numbers.
is the one always getting
the
the pressure.
We have a lot of accidents, and people are just not taking the time. But let me appeal to the drivers. I mean, we need to drive more responsibly. Sometimes you see people drive on the Zach, sometimes I say to myself, something is definitely wrong with us. Why would people be doing the kind of thing that they're doing on the road, overtaking everywhere, anywhere?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, we have choice.
Like we're so much in a rush. Everybody seems to be in a rush.
We have another call on the line. Let's take that call. Good night, caller.
Yes, good night.
Good night, sir.
Good evening.
Yes.
Officer Hippolyte and Officer Chicot.
Yes, good night.
I was involved in an accident, I think it was about 7 months ago, and I haven't received any information from the officer as to what's going on in the case, because somebody got injured, but the rider of the motorcycle had no insurance. He didn't produce a license, and nothing has been done with him, and the officer has yet to contact me with any information.
After 7 months.
Now, I know 6 months has passed, so the case has been, I think the term used is statute bad.
Yes, statute of limitation.
So, any advice as to what I can do to move forward in that?
Okay, caller, one question. What location or what area that accident occurred?
That's in the Grosley area.
Grosley. Right. So have you made an attempt to speak to the officer's supervisor?
I have.
And was it successful in terms of?
Well, what the supervisor said was that the report went, I think the file went already when that was already submitted.
Okay.
But still, I haven't heard anything as yet.
Okay,
It
so,
will be
okay.
8 months,
Right.
I think, on Monday.
So my next question to you, have you filled out a traffic report request at the traffic department?
Come again?
Have you filled out a traffic report request or application
No, I
at the
have
traffic? Okay, right. So the next thing you need to do is come to the traffic department. We're located at Colony House on John Compton Highway across the airport. And there's a form that you fill out. You need the particulars of the accident in terms of the date and the time, the investigative officer's name, and your particulars. You don't really need the other driver particulars if you don't remember, but at least your vehicle number and your name. And when that request is placed in, then we can see whether the file is already there or whether the report has been prepared. I want to believe that that report has been ready in a while, but since you have never come and collected it, maybe it's waiting. But just come to the traffic department and fill out the form.
Caller, were you ever informed about the procedure where you had to go to the traffic department and make this application?
No, I was not. And this is the reason why I'm calling the show, because the investigating officer has, the only time he contacted me was after the 6 months period was passed. And the only information he wanted from me was whether I wanted to report to submit to my insurance or report to, I guess, just a normal report.
Okay. Well, in any event, caller, I mean, the police has to ensure that they complete their investigations before the 6 months, and if there needs to, if a charge needs to be laid on one or both drivers, that they do it before the 6 months. So, I am hoping that that was done, and you have not been served as yet, but I don't have the particulars of the case. So, but like I said, you can come to the traffic department, and you can ask to speak to the sergeant, and
At traffic.
At traffic.
Okay.
And they can probably do some follow-ups to give you a more definite answer as to where exactly the matter is now in terms of did the officer file a complaint in the court? Because that could be the case, and he just has not gotten a chance to serve you as yet.
Okay, so since no charges have been laid, what happened?
No, I say we don't know whether charges have been laid. The officer could have very well have lodged a matter in the court against whoever he believes is at fault in the accident, and he has just not gotten the chance to serve you with a summons for court. But okay. I'm not sure. So, like I said, sure. We're assuming. So we need to verify whether, in fact, that has been done. So my advice to you: you come to the traffic department, you fill out a form requesting the police report, and also you can speak to the sergeant so he can do some inquiries to find out whether, in fact, or where, in fact, that matter is in terms of whether a file was complaint was lodged or not.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome,
okay.
caller.
You guys have been doing a good job. Have a good night.
Thank you very much, caller. Mm-hmm.
But what happens if the anyway? I think my colleagues we need to follow up. We need to communicate with because the citizens are our clients.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially when it comes to traffic, we know what entails. Brother Chico, you've been in this for a long time.
Yes.
The insurances, the insurance needs that document, right?
Yeah, well, most times they request it.
They request
in
it
order to make payment. So if you're involved in an accident and you get involved in an accident, you make a request to insurance. Most time before they pay whichever party, they normally request a report. The report will indicate who's at fault in the accident, and then they can make payment if needs be.
Okay.
Yep.
We have a call there, Amtel? Okay, let's take that call. Good night, caller.
Yes, good night.
Good night, sir. How are you doing?
Not too bad, and you?
Really holding on.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm. Talk to us?
Yeah. In relation to the police report, other than preparing the report, is there a cost attached to it that the applicant has to pay? And what happens if the applicant cannot actually pay it?
Is there a what, sir?
A cost.
A cost.
Yes. So each police report, the price is $200, which is paid at the Criminal Records Office upstairs, Lama Building. That money goes to the Accountant General. So that's the cost for it. Caller is $200 EC. And you ask a question as to...
If the person cannot pay, is there any other...
No.
No.
Because what happened, caller, even if you pay for the report, the insurance is supposed to reimburse you.
Right.
True.
Okay, so if once you pay for a police report, you hold the receipt and the report, when you submit it to the insurance, they reimburse you that money you have paid.
Okay, so you'll be refunded?
Yes, you'll be refunded by the insurance company.
Good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All the best.
Yes, you too, sir.
I also have the WhatsApp texting platform. The discussion has just been so intriguing. 7200401. 7200401. We have a call, Tev, no? Okay, let's take that call. Good night, caller.
Good night, Sergeant Zachary.
How you doing?
Good night, Sergeant. Good night, Mr. Chico.
Good night, sir.
Good night, sir.
Good night. I've got two questions.
Mm-hmm.
My first question is, when there's an accident, who normally is in charge of the debris that are left on the road? Because sometimes you have an accident, or an accident is caused by certain people and you are a driver. Then you'd be passing and see debris on the road from that accident, which itself can create other accidents. Is it the maintenance people of communications and work, or is it the police or the ambulance?
Well, to answer your
That's
question,
one of them.
yes. So to answer your question quickly, normally after every accident, if there's debris, we normally, if we can get rid of it ourselves, sometimes we call a fire service, especially when there's oil and there's liquids on the road. The fire service is called. They come, they pour their solvents and they wash it out. Sometimes, if it's debris, broken parts of stuff, we move it from the road. We never leave it in the road. Sometimes the most you'll get on the road is maybe broken glass, which sometimes you can't get all of it. But it is a responsibility of the police when we're done with the investigation to ensure, because at the end of the day, one of the primary functions of the police is to ensure that the roadway is safe. So when we come on the scene after an accident, when we're done, we have to ensure that when we leave that scene, it is safe for other road users. So if there's debris which we see that which may cause an obstruction, we must do it all in our power to get rid of it.
Okay,
so that's your first question, caller.
Okay, my next question is that, which is an incident I was involved in. In fact, an accident, not an incident. You have the Millennium Road, where you've got potholes, which is more than basically 2 feet, 2 meters, or some of them 1 foot, 2 feet. You were driving, rain is falling. You're going through just the normal 30 miles, 20 miles. Your rim then, your tires then get into that pothole. It breaks or your tire get punctured. You then call for assistance to ask the traffic unit. You know they are very busy, but communications and work is telling you you need a police report in order to get your rim reimbursed.
Yes.
But yet still when you call traffic will probably say to you, well not probably, traffic will say to you, well we cannot attend to you. What do I do then? Because one, I've got to try and get that vehicle off the road. And it's something that is happening quite often on that Millennium Road. You know, I've got to then get my vehicle off the road and then now try to assist myself. Can I get reimbursed at communications and work?
Right.
And you don't get a vehicle with one rim.
Right.
You know, I would just like you to answer that or give me some guideline on this, please.
Right, so
I'll be listening to you.
Yes,
Okay.
thanks very much. So he's saying that if he's involved in an accident and he requests a police report, the police officers have to do all in their power to attend as much as you can. I mean, so if let me say if that happens to you or anyone, and then let's say you don't get a favorable response, it's always a good thing sometimes to come into the department. You can come in the following day, make the report, and investigator will be assigned to assist you. Because in order for the ministry to pay you, again, they have to ensure that an accident did occur. They don't want to make it, believe it's something, someone making a false claim. So yes, and the roads, and you spoke about the roads at the Millennium Highway. We know the roads are pretty bad. They are scheduled to be repaired. Let's hope it is repaired in quick time. But let me just repeat, if anytime you're involved in such a situation and you don't get the response that is favorable, you can always come to the department the following day and sit and seek the assistance of the police in responding to your reports.
Someone on the WhatsApp texting platform is asking, what about loud music being played on vehicles? Well, viewer, the law is clear, and sometimes even when we, the police, approach an individual who's playing loud music, for example, what some people do, I mean, if a vehicle is in motion, that's kind of difficult for the police to try and address. But some individuals, the loud music enthusiasts out there, they would park in a community, sometimes put their speakers on the roof, and just blast music. You're not having a dance whatsoever. People need to understand that your entertainment, because you entertain yourself, could be causing or infringing on the right for someone else to be resting themselves or having peace. So it is an offense. It is an offense.
You know, it's a criminal offense.
It's a criminal offense. It's written in law, the criminal code, that speaks to playing loud amplified music, whether it is from a dance hall or your vehicle.
And it even gives the police the authority to confiscate the equipment.
The equipment now. Your equipment is in your vehicle, so we will go with the vehicle. You understand? So I'm always passionate about this when it comes to loud music, loud annoying noise, or whatever the case may be. You understand? So those of you with the vehicles, okay, you need to have some consideration for other people.
There are people who are sick.
There are people who are sick.
Are bedridden. You're passing in a community, your bass is rattling the people's homes.
And for some reason, my colleague, some of them do it early morning for whatever reason. So you wake up early in the morning, probably you've had your rest, okay? You don't care about the individual who probably work a double shift. You don't care about the security officer who just came from working from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and you pass in the community at 5:30 playing some loud music.
But that's not even driving only, you know. There are communities you live in, and then from Friday night, people have their music on blast.
Yeah.
You know, some Western and some you come from work, it's your
Yeah.
weekend, it's your Sabbath day of rest, you want to take some rest, or you want to, you want to have some quiet time for the weekend, and then this guy next to you is blasting some country and Western or some zouk the whole weekend.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I need to remind people, individuals, good night, Timothy Gastor, Marcelo Fitz, Sandra Luiso, that to play amplified music, you still need a permit.
Yes.
From the commissioner's office. Do we have a call, Tevin?
Even if it's from your...
Huh?
Yes, he said.
Okay, let's take that call. Good night, caller. Thank you for holding on.
Yes, good night, gentlemen.
Thank you for holding on, caller.
Good night, Constable Chico.
Good night, sir.
Very good show, very good show.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, another voice now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. A caller called and he brought up a very interesting point that I have. I just want to reinforce it. When he spoke about the debris from the accident, and Chico responded. He responded fairly well in that you said the investigator needs to ensure that the scene is left, the roadway is cleared, and so on. But normally, what I see happening is that all the bits of would be cleared off the roadway, but it would be on the side, on the verge of the road, and so on, which is still a distraction.
Yes.
Especially the Grocery Road. People would look at, and one thing that keeps the traffic back a lot. If you have a dead animal, and I believe that the ministry should be doing a lot more in terms of. I'm sure if a cow dies on the road, it will not hang around for a long time. But you get dogs.
Right, cats.
I mean, you'd see a dog by the road on a Friday, and it's Sunday, it would still be there.
Yes.
And you know it's as a result of a collision, and so on. And I believe that the ministry should be doing a lot more. I don't think you see that in developed countries. You know, you see an animal being crushed on the road repeatedly by all traffic.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And that's really unsightly.
Yes, that's true.
So just to reinforce what the driver, the caller said previously, I think that was a good point. And but all in all, a very good show. You're not holding back my sleep, man. It was a good show.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Yes, thank you, Scholar.
And look at the time already.
Yep.
I have to do a part 2 with you.
oh.
Because there are so much things we didn't touch on.
A lot.
Yeah.
Because traffic itself is very broad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we still have another call to make it the final call, Tevin? Okay, so that'll be our final caller for the night. Lucky caller. Good night, caller.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night,
Good night, sir. Talk to me.
How are you all doing?
Very fine.
We're fine.
Okay, I have a little bit of concern. It seems to me that motorists in St. Lucia are not aware of the speed limit on our main roads and the feeder roads. Can you quickly announce it for me, please?
Okay, so caller,
Let me see if I can.
but where there is a sign denoting the speed limit, for example, our highways, we have a few signs across. For example, the Grosley, the Shock Highway is 30 miles an hour. Bexon
30 miles an hour.
Yes, 30 miles an hour.
You believe motorists are aware of that?
They're aware, but the signs are there, caller.
But I never see any sign on the Grizzly Road.
I'm talking about the Shock Highway. So from the Shock roundabout to the VG roundabout, 30 miles an hour.
I haven't seen any sign there.
Yeah.
Maybe they were there and they broke down.
Yeah, and the Bexon Highway and other highways you see 40 miles an hour.
You mean Macassery to Vieux-Fort?
Well, yes, 40 miles an hour on the highways.
And the feeder roads.
the feeder road, you won't see an erected sign. And I remember there was some, I can't remember what law, there was a traffic act at one point, I think it's the one before 2003, where it actually indicated the speed limits on majority of our roads in St. Lucia, but for some unknown reason, it was never re-included in the revised or the law which replaced it. So in short, you can only enforce the speed limit where the signs are present. Okay, there's nothing written in the Traffic Act as it is now. There is no indication as to what speed limit should be on what road in St. Lucia. I know it was there at one point in time. That was an act of, I think, 19 something, but when the 2003 act came in, they never included those speed laws or the speed limits in the new law.
But are you aware that is an area that needs some immediate
attention? Oh yes,
attention?
scholar, come on.
Yes,
oh yes. That is, and I'll even add something to it. I mean, we're in 2022, where we need the radar guns, Zach.
Yeah.
The speed guns.
Yeah.
Okay, because let me just call a majority of our accidents we have in St. Lucia, especially the fatal accidents. Speed is always a factor in it. Speeding.
But yes, the other concern, it looked like we usually turn a blind eye on little things that happen, and it's the little things that grow and
that's
going to be the big things.
Call a very good point. Let me just again, I made that point before. There is a research that has been done where you see, correct criminals, so to speak.
Yeah.
Persons who have who are now felons. When you look at when they started their criminal, career, so to speak, they started with a lot of minor infractions, traffic violations, moving violations, driving without a license, driving while intoxicated, and then it gravitated to more serious offenses.
Yes.
And we in St. Lucia, we have, sometimes you hear people tell you, why don't you go and look for the bigger crime?
Yeah.
No,
we
all
get
laws supposed to be enforced. If you have problems complying with the little laws, you think the big laws you have, you'll want to comply with?
Yeah. So
something as simple as...
Where my concern is in terms of this, I notice bicycle riders riding the opposite direction on the road. I don't know if the police are aware of that, if it doesn't see that.
Yeah, we see it, Caller, but again, you see, like I told you earlier, Zach, a lot of our laws need to be revised because the Traffic Act itself speaks of bicycles, but it's very limited in what it speaks of. Because a bicycle is not considered a motor vehicle. A motor vehicle is a vehicle which is propelled by mechanical power.
That's right.
The bicycle is propelled by human power.
Yeah,
so a lot of the laws...
To cut you short, that is why we have so many young men riding motorcycles without a license, without they get any training, without they get nothing at all, because they have been doing that with the bikes, with the bicycle, and nobody check on them, and so they feel that that is their right.
Yes, but
that is the right.
And you see them in town, they're riding on the sidewalks, they're riding among school children.
So who are the one to push to the decision making or the law, because that this concern is vital.
Yes.
Who are they? The police or
all of us.
All of us.
That's
why I'm calling the show now. I mean, those that not sleeping could hear, and you do your part.
Right.
The other concern again. What's about pedestrian? Pedestrian use the road as though they have no limit.
Right.
They cross in front of vehicles. The green light is on. They will cross under the green light.
Yes.
And they telling the motorist, knock me on. What's happening in that regard?
Well, the pedestrians themselves need to. I always tell pedestrians that you've never seen a vehicle on the bed at VH if it drips. Pedestrians have to ensure that they protect themselves. They do not just cross in front of vehicles and whatnot. And the law as it relates to pedestrians, I think Section 75, which deals with non-compliance, or it's 71, I think. It also says that pedestrians have to comply with certain traffic signs, and they can be penalized or charged by the police if they are in breach of it. You know, but it's a case where, caller, when we as officers see the offense is committed, we have to enforce, we have to bring it to their attention, because a lot of
but
people.
the officers have been, seen the things happen and they just closing their eye.
Yes, I understand, caller. Yes.
They just closing their eye. I have witnessed officers, especially on Jeremy Street, on a Friday, on a Saturday, to see the kind of things happening on Jeremy Street.
Yes.
And which we don't have a pedestrian to cross, proper pedestrian writings for people to cross the road.
Yes.
You understand? It's a lot of legal things we really need to address in this country.
Yes. And
a lot.
Okay,
anyhow,
thank you so much for calling. Is that your first time calling?
I must say that should always be very educational.
Thank you.
And I believe the Ministry of Traffic supposed to put some more education notice how people should divert the road and at what time and everything that. They believe that the motorists have to see them. The motorists must stop. Sometimes you apply your brakes and the vehicle don't stop immediately.
Right.
Okay, so they have to take concern of their own safety and health.
Right.
It's just like the driver will take notice of this, but they have to do their part too.
Yes.
That's right.
Okay,
All right, caller.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Good night.
Right.
Final comments, Mr. Chicot?
Yes, so let me just thank you once again, Zach, for having me here. It'll be my pleasure the next time I'll be willing to to grace my presence here. And I just want to appeal to the people out there, the drivers, the motorists, the pedestrians. We all have a responsibility for our own safety. And let us do what we need to do to protect our lives and our livelihoods and our well-being.
Thank you, my brother.
Yes, thank you
so
very much.
Yes. So this has been another very informative episode of Police Insight. Definitely going to do a part 2 with Mr. Chicot, because there's so many other topics that we didn't get a chance to discuss and also educate you on. So if it's a Tuesday, it's Police Insight live on Choice Television. Good night and stay safe.
Incorporated, WASCO,